No. God damn. Welcome to Vertical Thoughts.
What he said. Welcome to Vertical Thoughts. How you doing? I'm being a bit much today.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing
How are you doing?
probably like a 53.
Out of 60. Laugh at me, Owen. Validate me. I'm back. I'm back, but also I'm here with some friends. Owen, who you know. You guys know.
Hey, that's me.
You guys love Owen. Can't get enough of that. The body hottie with a... And then there's this guy. Matthew. Matholomew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people call me that.
Wait. Are you Matthew McConaughey?
Dude.
Come on, dude. Don't pull my cover.
Okay.
Okay.
God, that was really bad. Okay, you know what it is, dude. We don't cut stuff out of these. Go with the flow. We're here to talk about climbing. And do ASMR.
Good to know.
Yeah. Climbing that's already been done. Anna Hazlitt did that.
I saw that on Instagram, yeah.
I didn't.
I was pretty triggered. I was like, I got the tingles right down the back of my... That didn't happen. I mostly watched it. Like, I started watching it at work, and then I was like, this seems somehow an SFW, even though it's not sexual in any way, but it's still somehow not appropriate for work. Would you rather your employer catches you watching porn or ASMR?
You have a really cute cat, I was going to say.
These are the kind of questions that people tune into this stuff for. You know, this is the nitty gritty.
Nitty gritty of climbing.
This is what people talk about at climbing gyms.
Is it?
Yeah, we're going to talk about other things today, though, as well. One of which, and the centric topic for tonight, is going to be Stoke. You know it. I know it. Owen kind of gets it, but he doesn't get it.
No.
Yeah.
Not at
I mean,
all.
we need to explain STOKE. STOKE is actually an acronym, you know? It's safely, training, obviously, knowing Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah. STOKE. You get it now?
No, I still.
Oh my God.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
I don't really understand.
It's the driving force behind every send. You know? The STOKE.
Yeah?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay. Ask away.
Can jet fuel melt steel beams? That's not the question. Do you believe... I'm sorry, can you not...
Sorry.
Do you believe that being stoked, helps you send? You personally?
Helps me send?
Yes. Have you ever felt, I would say, more motivated by the people around you than by whatever drives you inside of yourself? God, I wish I was inside of you. Sorry.
To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I see there was one specific time where they were about to reset the gym. And I had some people there that told me to get on a climb that I had no motivation to do at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, just get on it. Like, let's get it before they reset it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And then they eventually peer pressured me into it.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And I did it on that try. And it was a beautiful moment.
What is Stoke but positive peer pressure?
Yes.
Indeed.
Thank you. Matt, thoughts?
Thoughts on STOKE?
Yeah. For you personally, does it help you?
Personally, I think STOKE from external and internal is really important. External, it's definitely helped me out on multiple occasions, specifically outdoors. Trying to top out a boulder on that sketchy, sweet top out in J Tree.
Very puntable.
You're just grabbing on nothing. Sometimes just that little extra push of people like really cheering you on. It's like little extra motivation to get over the top of that boulder. But I think also, most importantly, it's STOKE should be something like internally that you should feel that you should be stoked on getting outdoors, stoked on doing whatever your goal is. So yeah.
Definitely, in my opinion, across the board, it helps. But you're right. It's not just on the wall, off the wall. Also, STOKE is very important. It just, if you're not in the right headspace for climbing, you'll find that grades all bump themselves, and gravity increases, and the sport just gets a lot harder when you're not stoked. When you're there and you're unhappy, you have those days at the gym where you're just not feeling it. There's something to be said about having just bad days physically where your body's just not cooperating. But then there's those days where, you feel okay, but the stoke isn't there. You're not motivated. There's no, I don't know, the music playing in your ears just isn't enough to get you up the wall. I have those days all the time. And if I don't, it often happens if I'm climbing alone. Like, I generally will build stoke pretty heavily based upon who's around me while I'm climbing. I really like the camaraderie of climbing, and I find it difficult to build that myself alone, particularly if I'm in a gym that's not my home gym, if I'm in like another gym that I just go and check out. We recently did that in Wisconsin, and I got like a little bit tilted, I'm not gonna lie. First of all, the grades were really hard, but I knew that going into it because the people who climbed there told me that, but still got frustrated. And I think it was mostly because I had no one there to bounce things off. It feels nice every once in a while to just be able to hang out with your friends and climb. We just climbed just now before this.
It's true.
I don't believe him.
Just right. You were there.
Was I?
Remember?
You might be thinking about another guy.
Oh.
I don't. Why am I here? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Who are you?
No. Your knees are really ashy and chalky. You're definitely.
Oh no! What are you talking about?
Explain the chalky knees.
Those are clean. I was just on my knees earlier.
Pretty sure it was you.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We seshed before this.
Indeed, we did. I was pretty stoked, actually. Speaking of stoke,
there was big stoke.
I first time at the Vital Marietta gym. I was very stoked. Always showing up to a new gym can be great. Oh, hello, Kat. Yes, give me love.
She's so freaking
cute. I'm just stoked to be here with the cat. To be honest, main reason I'm here.
Her name is Stoke, actually.
Well,
it's a little nerve-wracking when she climbs up there.
It honestly,
you getting those free solo vibes right now?
100%. My palms are so sweaty.
Yeah,
knees weak.
What's the next line?
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I just
next line of what?
Just I like.
So as balls. I was talking about.
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, dude, definitely stoked to try out the new gym and climb with the bros. Actually, I don't think we've ever seshed together, Liam.
I don't think we have, because when Matt and I go way back.
Yes.
Pretty far, actually. And when we hung out, neither of us climbed, which certainly didn't help us getting together and climbing together, because it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I had these little noodle arms. It was the cutest thing.
It was adorable.
Early 2000s, mid 2000s, Liam was just precious, just so weak and angsty, and I just wanted to punch myself in the face all the time.
Good memories.
Good times. But that was the skateboarding arc of my life, personally. And I'm much better at climbing than I was at skateboarding.
Feel you on that.
Yep. Skating's hard. Shout out to all the skaters out there. Steezy Bailey, my boy. I've seen the Steez. Bolts every time.
Mm-hmm.
And while climbing as well. Bolts every single time. Perfect.
Pulling Adam Andra.
Yeah. I'm going to start using that now when I dead point something. I'm just going to whisper to myself, bolts. Bolts. That's good. That's trademarked. But yeah, it is really cool, I think, to check out a new gym. That's one of the things that brings me a lot of excitement in climbing. I feel like I'm almost as excited, I should say, when I'm checking out a new gym as I am checking out a new crag, like outdoors. There's so much to freaking play with, dude, and so much to try. Holds you've never seen before, setting that you've never experienced before, people you've never met. Dude, I get so excited climbing new places. When I first went to Flowstone, I was like a kid in a candy shop.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, I was looking all up on the lollipops, dude. You know what I mean? You guys.
So yeah, just climbing a new gym is always a great experience.
Always really exciting.
Yeah.
But for me, strangely enough, and I've talked about this on the show before, but for a long time I did not feel the motivation to climb outdoors. I just didn't really have interest in it. And of course, the ticket to me gaining interest in climbing outdoors was just climbing more outdoors. And then I was like, oh, dude, this is the shit. Why don't you guys make me come out and do this more? But really, I got my motivation. I got my stoke from a Wednesday night at Vital Murrieta when they would reset part of the gym, and I'd be at work and I'd be like, I'm gonna smash some climbs tonight, dude. I'm gonna be ripping holds off the wall. That's where
I don't want to talk about it.
I saw the fear of God in Owen's eyes just now, dude.
I had a moment.
That cat was going for your jugular. I saw it.
She tried to kill you.
Yeah,
for sure. She failed, but
yeah,
you're unkillable.
I mean, do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
I love that you can hear it. So the people that are listening to this and not watching it, they don't know what you slapped just now, dude. It could have been anything. Use your imagination. Yeah. But I definitely, like, a new reset or a new gym gets me super stoked. And for me, it seems like crazy measurable. Like, some people that I've spoken to about this are like, yeah, I definitely feel like I pull a little bit harder, when there's people around me building up the vibes. For me, dude, it's like night and day. Like, I am like a V2 plus climber if I'm not stoked. And I'm not much better than that when I am, but I at least double that when I got the homies there and I'm pulling hard. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely let to build off of that, and it's like definitely the stoke is a little bit more there, climbing with other people. I mean, it depends on totally the day. If I go with the right mindset of know what I'm doing at the gym, like I'm going there to like work this specific climb. I'm trying to like build up my endurance for this project outdoors, but 100% like I think when I'm by myself, I'm more willing just to give some climb a go. If I don't get it on the flash, I'm like, all right, I'm moving on. Versus having friends there, like, oh, they're gonna try it, and like, I'm more down to actually work it and try to get it, at least give it like a 8 to 10 attempts.
That's a hard one.
That was a little.
You could have done better.
The people love alliteration, though. Do it again.
I can't.
Matt,
sorry. Okay, so
8 to 10 attempts.
8 to 10 attempts. God. Actually,
Wait. Do it again.
8 to 10 attempts.
Okay. I'm good.
Actually, shout out to my girl Becca. She's an English teacher. She'd be proud of me for actually putting that together.
Thanks, Bex.
I'm pretty proud of you.
Thank you so much. Mi corazón. All right, but I definitely want to also build off that of what you mentioned earlier about you not being super stoked on being outdoors, and it's like it just took you just getting out there to actually do it. And I think it's like a huge thing. Is like a lot of the times where I feel like I'm not improving, I'm not doing what I feel like I should be doing. I look back and realize like I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't out there getting it. I wasn't training. I wasn't doing anything to improve it. I think that, and then once you like go in, like only climb once a week, like obviously you're not going to be improving. It needs to be consistent work all throughout.
Yeah.
And a big one for me that reignited my stoke over the past 6 months. I don't know if you've ever tried Blue Flame up at Tramway.
Nope.
A little V7, little crimpy boy to big throw. But I went up there and I was like, I'm going to get this climb, like first couple goes. Got up there, couldn't even get my ass off the ground on the start. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, you know what? I need to train hard. I need to lose weight and I need to do this. And I was actually weighing about 196. And then within 5 months, I lost about 30 pounds.
Wow.
Went up there after a lot of training and got it within like 5 goes.
Nice.
And that definitely ignited my stoke. And I was like, all right, like,
yeah, really stoked the fire.
really stoked that fire.
Is that where that comes from?
And took out the Blue Flame.
We didn't stoke the
Dude,
fire.
That joke had a layer that I didn't even see.
Yeah,
You're one step ahead of me. Did you just incept that idea in my brain? Get out of my head.
All right, sorry.
You can say. That's good though, and there's something to be said about that. And like what you said earlier about the stoke coming from within yourself, or the motivation coming from within yourself. I think that factor, whatever you want to call it. I'm tired of saying the word stoke, so call it other things. But let's break out the synonym books, right? The motivation or the we'll use that. I like that actually.
The
drive, yeah, whatever drives you up the wall. I do think that it is like general happiness, and this is just my views on being happy in general. I think that it has to stem from an honest desire to feel that way. I think that if you personally are not working towards that, it's never just going to come from another place. Nothing's ever just going to show up and make you feel happy. It's just not the way the world works. You have to be the driving force working towards being happy. And then, if you really are on that path, you'll notice that things start to seem not so bad anymore. And that desire has to come from within you. It's not external, unfortunately. It'd be nice if things would just happen, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, sick, I'm going to send my proj right now because of all these external factors. I don't even have to try. Send, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like that. You got to work for it. You got to work hard. And like being happy in general is difficult. It's a struggle. I mean, especially being an adult. Not to say if you're not an adult that you know, don't have to struggle, but adult life is already so goddamn stressful and frustrating and weird, and it's difficult to be happy in general. I don't think anyone would ever say, oh, I'm effortlessly happy at all times. The people that seem effortlessly happy, in my experience, often are the people that actually deal with the most like inner demons. You know, it's the people who always seem so chipper and, you know, really they're fighting, you know. That's their way of overcoming the things that they feel that they don't want to feel. So if you feel a lack of motivation, if you feel a lack of stoke, if you are out there and you feel heavy and tired and unmotivated, if you feel like the hold's got smaller since the last time you tried your project, reflect that, look within yourself first, and then use that. Surround yourself with people who are going to build you up and people who are going to motivate you. And it's always good to have a good crew climbing, always. But no crew wants to be around someone who's a bummer and someone who doesn't give the stoke back. So you got to dish it before you can get it. Word. I just worded myself. Sorry about that. I don't think that's allowed. But I do think that it's very important to find that, the stoke, the motivation, the drive, whatever it is, find it within yourself and then use that, you know, give it to other people. It's like kindness, you know, you give it to someone else and then maybe they will share it and then maybe it'll start a chain reaction, come back to you.
100%. And like, I mean, definitely don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot away.
Toot it.
Recently decided, I was like, because I recently got into sport climbing and I realized that, oh my gosh, like my endurance is boo-boo.
Right.
I get about halfway, shaking up there, hands are super sweaty as always, but just realized like I'm just dead. My fingers can't, like I just, whatever. So my endurance is crap. So I decided, you know what, I need to start running. I need to build up my endurance. This past May, struggling to run 3 miles, kept at it once, twice a week. And then realized that, you know what, I can do longer distances. And I decided to run from my place to Claremont, which is about 13 miles. Did that, and I was just like, you know what, I can for sure run longer. And decided, you know what, I'm going to do a marathon. So I started training for a marathon about like a few weeks ago and just like posting little updates on stuff on Instagram. And it's actually gotten a lot of like positive feedback. Like a lot of people are super stoked for me that I'm doing it. But also like a few of my friends have told me like I've been some inspiration to them and that's helped them get out there and run and like eat a little bit healthier and do all this stuff. And I think it's just like definitely positivity, just you by example showing all the positive things you're doing for your own life definitely helps other people. It's definitely not going to stick for everyone, but there will be those few people out there that will like appreciate that and will get stoked from it, get motivated. Yeah,
absolutely. What is stoke if not positivity, right?
100%.
That's what it is. That's what we're talking about here. Follow along, okay? Listen up. I don't know where I was going with that, but is there a moment that comes to mind, climbing specific, that another person provided you with the keys to the kingdom, the stoke that made you send?
That's a good question.
I know it happens a lot, so it's hard to think of specific examples, but I'll start with mine. Owen was there.
I don't believe it.
Oh my God, I swear to Owen. Oh, I just want to kiss you sometimes, dude. When you talk like that, I just want to kiss you right on the mouth.
And I would accept it.
That's super nice of you, dude.
Oh, yeah,
only consensual kisses here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this going.
So, story time. crack a beer over, dude, because this can be not that long of a story, but we were going up to Black Mountain, myself, Owen, Brick, a couple more friends, and it was the first snow of the season. Some of you probably remember this weekend, but it had rained on like Wednesday, Thursday, and I knew that it had snowed, but I did not expect it to be snowy up there. In other words, I would have expected the snow to have burned off already, or there just to be a little bit of snow in the valleys off the road. But when we got on the Black Mountain Trail, we were pretty quickly discovering that this was not the case. There was much more snow than we anticipated. My Ford Explorer happens to be rear-wheel drive and happens to have pretty old, like not great tires at the moment. Are you being abused by my cat right now?
A little bit. I just feel a tail on my head right now.
Whip him. He likes it. Whip him,
whip
Layla.
me. Do it.
She's so petty, dude.
Yo, whip me. Oh.
Come here. She just punted off my couch. Come here. Where it's safe. But we misjudged conditions pretty horribly, and we were supposed to meet some people up at the group sites, which is quite a ways up the road, and I just figured we'll just keep going, dude. We'll just use our momentum to push us up this trail. If I stop, I'm going to slide backwards down. So I was mobbing up this trail, and it was pretty snowy, but not too bad. We had traction, and we passed through the roadside corral, which, if you know Black Mountain, is, I don't know, like 3/4 of the way up to the group sites area. And so I was like, we're pretty close to where we need to be. We're gaining elevation, but conditions aren't great, but I think we just need to get to the campground and then we'll be okay. Just keep going. So we bombed through the corral, and there were people there camping, and we were just like, oh, there's people here, whatever. And we kept going. And we got to, there's a stretch of road right after the corral that is paved, and it's pretty steep grade. And what I did not know, that it was freaking covered in black ice. It was fantastic. It was great. A super good time. And you know black ice, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Oh, perfect.
It's the best. Yeah.
Perfect conditions.
And what was funny was that on the dirt and the mud, we were actually fine, to be honest. But we hit this little patch of asphalt. They decided to pave that part of the road several years back. And I was going pretty slow because there's a big speed bump at the top of the asphalt, and I didn't want to. I've launched off that thing before, so as everyone who's gone up to Black Mountain knows, this freaking bump. There's two. There's a little one, and then there's like the big one. It's a ramp, basically. And as I am not Travis Pastrana, and I am not on Nitro Circus, I don't try to freaking ollie my truck off that bump. So going pretty slow, didn't quite make it, began sliding like downwards and towards the side of the road, which is a cliff, basically. Not like a huge drop, but probably 20 or 30 feet down into a little valley. You don't want to go down there, sideways, particularly, because my truck will never come out again if I get it down there. And AAA, I'll call AAA, and they'll tell me to go fuck myself. So they're not coming up there. So it was like probably 10 o'clock at night, and we had started to slide, and immediately, dude, my stoke was gone. I was actually like really stoked about this trip and super happy to be going up this road. I was like, we're mobbing, dude. We're making good time. We have not lost traction once. And then the second I lost traction and I pushed the brake pedal all the way to the floor and I felt the car still moving, all the stoke gone. I was just like, So hit it in reverse, let off the brake, let us roll a little bit, let the wheels gain some traction. I turned the front wheels to kind of like make it so that we would turn towards the embankment instead of the cliff on the side. And for some reason, I still don't know why really, but we stopped sliding. Kind of more or less the front wheels just built up enough snow. We kind of just grabbed some snow and packed it behind the front wheels that we just stopped. So I got out and looked around, and I was like, all right, we will never be moving again. This truck lives here now. Everyone get ready to spend the night right here because the problem was if I tried to move the truck at all, it would just start sliding backwards, including if I tried to go forwards. It wouldn't go. So we tried one more time. Just made it like forwards, maybe 3 or 4 feet, and then same thing, just started to go back down. And the issue was because of the steep grade, once we started sliding, we were just going to continue gaining momentum on black ice. And I don't know how far we were going to slide, but probably quite a ways. So frustrated, defeated, having brought all these people on this trip and feeling a lot of pressure on myself, having put us in really kind of a dangerous spot. I mean, luckily no one got hurt and we kind of stayed away from any real danger, but it pretty quickly could have gone down that road, So we walked back down to the corral where it turns out the people we were supposed to meet had stopped because the road conditions were bad. And we're like, hey, what's up, guys? We're super stuck. And then one guy came, Micah, and he had his Jeep and he had, prepared 4-wheel drive, locking diffs, a Jeep, the whole shebang. He was like, I'll go check it out. He went up there, he came back down, and he was like, you stuck. And I was like, yep, you're right. So we pretty much decided we were just going to leave the truck there for the night. Camp at the corral. Don't recommend because it's kind of illegal, but we had no choice. Camp at the corral. And when the sun was out, we were going to go, back down pretty much and not try to go any farther. by this point I was mentally, physically exhausted, defeated, did not feel like climbing. This trip was done for me. I was like, man, this is awful. I was freaked out. I was stressed out. I didn't like the fact that people could have gotten hurt on my watch. I'm big on safety and caution when I go outdoors, and so anything like that I do not like at all. So feeling frustrated, and luckily one of the people that we met down there named Gio, super nice guy. Gio, if you ever watch this, you the man. And I'm going to get back to him because he's the Stoke provider. But he was like, oh, I just so happen to have some friends rolling up here with off-road vehicles with winches and rescue equipment. So if you guys want to just hang out for a little bit, they'll be up here shortly. And I was like, that's amazing news. That's super convenient. Thank you. We will hang tight till your friends come. And in the meantime, Owen happened to suggest, hey, Stenage problem is right here. You want to hop on it? And I was like, fun fact about Stenage problem. I don't know if I'm saying that right, by the way. I've heard it said differently, but it's a V6 in Black Mountain. Classic V6. Very strange problem. Two mover, but just big jump to a slopey lip, and then one of the weirdest and somehow most difficult mantles on that mountain. It's so delicate, and I would say like 9.9 times out of 10, that mantle just doesn't feel possible at all. But it was cold out, and I had never tried that climb in like freezing temperatures. So I jumped up to the slopey part, and I just kind of put my hands on it, and I was just like, dude, there's friction here. Like this feels good for the first time ever. It has never felt good. It feels good now. So, a fire started to kindle within me, and Gio, the guy who was there, who we had never met before, was just like, he just came over with his light and with his crash pad, and he was like, you guys trying to climb this? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess we are, but our pads are back up with our truck, so we don't really want to go get them. And he was like, oh, just use mine, and just tossed it down, turned on his light, and just sat down. And he was just like, all right, you guys go ahead, like start climbing. And I was the only one doing it because Owen had did it last session, and started throwing in attempts, 1, 2, 3 after the other. My fingers started bleeding. It's a really gritty climb, and you're pretty much just slapping a big slopey part of the rock and just praying for friction, if you do it the way I do it. Anyways. And I don't know, I was getting close, but I was really frustrated. And it had been a really long night, and it was probably 1 a.m. at this point. And the rescue team had showed up with all their off-road vehicles, and our friend Ryan offered to go, with them behind him, back the truck back down and bring it down so I wouldn't have to take off my climbing shoes and go up. But I was pretty much done, and I was like, you know what, I'll just try this climb tomorrow. Whatever, it's no big deal. I'll get it tomorrow, And then it was quiet for a second, and Gio, super nice guy, he was just like, I have this friend who, and as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, this guy's about to drop some fucking knowledge on me right now. He was like, I have this friend that believes that, the very last attempt, like you should always give it one more attempt, like why not, right? You got nothing to lose because you're already done. So why not just try it one more time? And swear to God, as soon as those words came out of his mouth, I was like, you son of a bitch, I'm going to send this right now. Like, not that I was like, ooh, I'm so no, but I was just like, it was so ironic that I was like, there's no way that this attempt is not going to go. Like, you clever bastard. And so I was like, you're right. Why not just try it one more time? I got nothing to lose. Got on the start, and dude, something inside of me, the stoke, something was bubbling inside of me. And I was just with this new friend behind me who believed I could do it, with Owen there who knew I could do it, and with Brooke sleeping in the tent behind me, fully supporting me. She knew I could do it for sure. And it just went, that last attempt, it went, it was clean. I yelled America. That's my new send word, by the way. I just scream America. I don't sot anymore. I just try it. Next time you're on a really hard move, just yell America. 100% guaranteed to send. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely have to try that out.
Try it. If you're listening to this, try that out. And by the way, I also screamed America, but it was like 2 a.m. and there were several people sleeping in tents around us. So kind of a dick move, but also like imagine sleeping and you just hear like someone like slap a sloper, and then other guys be like, come on, yeah, come on, Lee, and then just America, and then just clapping. You'd be like, dude, some shit just went down out there, bro. I'm gonna get out my tent. What's going on? What just happened?
You're right.
Yeah, but Gio was yelling and Owen was yelling, and it was a rejoiceful moment for me. It was my longest standing project outdoors. I first tried that climb in like 2015 or 14, and that's a long time ago. I had no business trying it back then because I did not climb V6 in a gym or outdoors, but I was like, oh, I'll try this because it's 2 moves, and that is enticing to me because it's not a high ball. But yeah, my longest standing project went down that night, and all because this guy that we had never met before was super friendly and was stoked to be climbing with us at 2 a.m. while our truck was stuck and his friends were rescuing it. And he just convinced me to try one more time because he was there and he wanted to be a part of this, and he wanted to see some sends. So that to me was the first measurable time that I've been like, okay, that was like, I did that climb, but I would not have done it if he was not there. Like I owe something to the shared stoke of the situation. That was a team send for sure. If I was there alone, I would never have gotten on that climb, ever. I was not feeling it that night. But through the support and the enthusiasm of the people around me, I was able to put it down. Questions?
Oh my.
Comments?
That is, I could honestly say that's probably like the definition, a little short story of stoke right there. And like, that's what it's all about. It's just going out there and supporting other people. And it's like, not only stoke for yourself, but just like sharing the stoke with others. And that's like, shout out to Gio, because that's the boy right there.
He's the man.
Yeah. Man, not a boy, but a man.
He's the boy man.
He's a boy man. But I think that's what it's all about. And I think that's like the biggest thing about the climbing community as well. And what really drew me to it. Like, I just kind of got into climbing because my friend's like, oh, try this out. Hanger has this thing where you sign up for $5 and on the guest pass,
Yeah.
Shout out to Hanger 18 for that. But I got in and started climbing, met some people, actually found out some like old friends climbed. So I was just like, got into it. And just like instantly, I just like was just like drawn to how like everyone's so supportive.
Yeah.
Like you obviously you run into a few people that aren't like super supportive, like not going to point fingers over here, but yeah, Owen. But for the most part, like everyone's just like always there, like supporting each other, and that's always awesome. You always hear, like, especially like on like a busy night at the gym, you always hear people cheering on others, and it's like, like, come on, you got it, and it's just like always there to like lift you up, and no matter what your skill level is. And it's not just like only cheering on the people that are like pulling on like V8 plus, but it's like people that have been putting in work on like on a V1, V2, like very beginners. It's like no matter what. And I think that was like, I guess maybe held me back in the beginning, was just like always felt like, oh, I'm only like a V1, V2 climber. Like, I don't want to talk to these people that are climbing like V5 and up. Like they don't want to associate with me. But as soon as I realized like, no, like these people want to help you out. They want to help everyone around them improve. And it's like, yeah, it's just a great community. Everyone's just like always stoking each other up. It's a great feeling for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everyone deserves to be stoked.
100%.
I mean, we just talk about like we sesh, that's kind of my word of choice for climbing with a group, with that group mentality, of all climbing together. Everyone deserves that. V0 to V15, that's why you see the guys that are climbing V15 pretty rarely are doing it alone. Like they're all together, doing it to each other with, on each other. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking about Jimmy Webb and Daniel Woods just climbing with each other, dude.
Goddamn mellow climbing. Goddamn it.
Just getting stoked with each other, dude. Oh, I just got chills. But for me personally, myself, Tambien, also, I really appreciated having other people with me in that moment. Broen was there with me, holding it down.
Who?
You were there.
You,
holding it down.
Yeah, protein shake. Broseph.
Owen, how you doing?
Tolerating.
God, I love you.
No, I'm doing pretty good.
You're out here, dude.
I'm out here, just forced to be on the show, kidnapped me.
Not that way.
I mean, I wanted to be on the show.
Don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's boy napping. Matt, you said you started climbing 2014, 2015, somewhere around there?
Around there. Yeah, I was my
Or like 2016.
senior year of college. Water polo just ended. And yeah, just like kind of like everything how it lined up, just like lined up perfectly. Like water polo was ending. I knew I needed to do something physically active. Like I knew that I hated going to the gym. I'm not a fan of going there and just lifting weights. Like I did it for the past like 6 years or so, and I was just like, I'm not a fan. Like I do it because like I need to. Like, I was forced to go during water polo, but after that, I was like, instantly, first session was just like, I love this. This is something it was really humbling too, because like I was out there kind of a little bit cocky, like, oh, like I'm a water polo player, like physically active, like something like fly up this wall, and it was like V0's shutting me down. Like my hands are shaking, like I can't. And then the greatest thing ever was I was signing up for the membership, and back then there was like had the piece of paper and you like fill everything out. And I literally could not hold the pen. Literally grabbing it like a 3-year-old. Just
that's the best, dude.
Full grip, just like, oh gosh.
This guy's full crimping on pens.
Full crimping on pens.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was after that I was instantly fell in love, and it was something that, yeah, it was like a way to keep me active, and then I think over the years it's definitely evolved into something more meaningful to me, and definitely something deeper. And it's like personally my philosophy on life is just focusing on 3 things that are most important to me, which is like my physical, mental, and spiritual health. And rock climbing really is this center of all of that. It's been a great way for me to realize like getting outdoors. I missed being outdoors so much. Like I went camping when I was younger, but my first climbing trip I went outdoors was like, okay, I'm having fun climbing, but most importantly, like, holy crap, like I'm out here in nature, and it's like something just really fueled within me, and it's definitely evolved further and further. Now I'm out here sport climbing and stuff, and it's like I never ever thought I would get up sport climbing and doing like 100-foot climbs. It's like, if you would have told me that like a few years ago, crap, even like a year ago, I'd be like, no, you're out of your mind.
Same.
But 100%, it's just been like probably the best thing that's ever happened in my life, and it's put me in different places I never thought I would be, and like meeting people that I would have never thought. Like, I mean, like you said, like we've known each other since like early 2000s.
Yeah, many years.
And then all of a sudden climbing the gym, it was just like, looked over and I was like, I know this face.
Yeah.
I've seen this face before. Not only in my dreams, but I've seen this face. I was like, I know you. And you're like, you do know me. I was like, oh my goodness.
Put my hand on your shoulder.
I know. It was like
Jeff, right?
Yeah. I just went with it. But yeah, and it was 100%.
I remember that.
Yeah. At the Rancho gym.
Mm-hmm. That was probably... that was a while ago, actually. That was probably a year ago, right?
That was longer than that for sure.
Maybe a couple years ago.
That was still like my early phases of climbing. I think that's probably like
so
2
like
years ago,
2016 or
around there. Yeah.
So that was probably right after I got back to California.
Yes.
And I remember a couple of times I rolled into Rancho. But yeah, and you were like, you approached me, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, like I know this person. Like, it's always weird, and it's cool though. And like, don't deprive yourself of those connections while climbing is all I can say. Don't deprive yourself of Stoke. Like I said, everyone deserves friendships and camaraderie. And you smell something, dude?
I do smell something.
Is it his bullshit?
It is. I don't know. It's like
dude. My bullshit is odorless, colorless.
You know what?
Undetectable.
You can stay quiet over there. We're having a good time.
Owen, I swear to God, if you stay quiet.
All right, so back to the program. But
sorry about that.
Yeah, honestly, I want to build off of that as well. Is don't deprive yourself. The biggest thing that I probably not regret, because I think everything happens for a reason, but for the longest time I was like, Boulder is the only way to go. Boulder boys. Like, that's all I'm about. That's all I'm going to ever do. Like, sport climbing is dumb. It's pointless. And I always heard that from other people. Like, oh, no, it's not that great, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, yeah. But also, I mean, my fear of heights is one thing that really...
That doesn't help. Yeah.
It did not help whatsoever. And then, not I don't want to say unfortunately, but fortunately enough, I met this pretty lady at the gym, and she's like, "Oh, like we should go sport climbing." I'm like, what?
Dude, I love sport climbing.
I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." I was like, yeah, no, I've never done that." I mean, she also did call me out, saying like, "How are you gonna work at a climbing gym and not how to sport climb?" I was like, "Fair,
True.
That's a fair point."
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, "No." And she's like, "You know what, you need to go, like, I'll take you out." So luckily I took the class. I was like, let me learn the basics first in the gym where I feel safe. And then I went outdoors, and you know, that the days leading up to my first outdoor like sport climbing trip, I was like super nervous. Like, what if I don't like it? What if I freak out at top? What if I take a huge whipper and I smack myself against the wall? I was like, it was just a terrible few days leading up to it.
Yeah.
And get up there, I was like, all right, I got this. And I was like, you know, no, like, put me on like a 5'6", 5'7". Like, I can't, like, I don't, like, let me do this. All of a sudden, she's like, all right, like, you go ahead and lead it. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. And, you know, I was like, okay. You know, it made sense because, like, I didn't know how to clean a route that time, which is like, all right, that's fair. Go up there. I was like, all right, this is way too easy. Throw me on something harder. And, yeah, all of a sudden hopped on like a 5'9", 5'10" maybe. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is, like, this is incredible. And it was like, that was something that really, like, my love for nature really, really, like, grew from that point of just being up there like 60, 80 feet up on that rock. And it's like, those views were just amazing. That lit the stoke in my heart for something else. Stoked the flame. So definitely go out and try things. Who cares what other people think? And that was like, and even then I still get so much crap from people. And we were like, oh yeah, like, what are you like climbing outdoors right now? I'm like, oh, honestly, like, I'm not bouldering too much. I'm just going out and sport climbing. And I don't know how many people they tell me like, what? Like, how can you? What are you talking about? Like, so go out there and try something new. Like, do what you know that makes you happy, and you'll just find the right people. And then it's unfortunate. Like, I mean, it's also just life that when you pursue what makes you happy, you're gonna lose some people, unfortunately. And it's just, that's a part of life. But you gain so many other people that really just like connect with on so many different levels, and that's probably been the greatest thing over the past few years of me just like really cleaning up my life and climbing a lot more. And it's just, I can honestly say I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in like so many years. And it's like, you know what, like, screw it, I'm gonna do what makes me happy. I'm gonna push what makes me happy. And being outdoors, climbing, running, all this stuff, just do what you want to do. Go out there and get it.
Absolutely agree. I'm stoked for you.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Oh, and you recently did something similar in terms of your first outdoor sport climbing trip, right? Was that, like, I remember recently you went on a trip to Holcomb?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that your first outdoor sport climbing trip?
It was, yes, it was technically my first outdoor sport climbing, but in terms of rope climbing, it was my second. But that first one was just kind of there, up in the air. Yeah, that second one, it was more of something that was just up in the air for me, because I always wanted to try sport climbing, because I've been bouldering for 3 years, and I honestly just got tired of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the same thing, just gets boring. So I went up with our buddy, Zach Lane. He was on the show.
A couple times.
With me.
Yeah.
And you were there, I think.
Maybe.
No? Or was it him?
It was him.
This was
his show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my bad. So, yeah, I went up with Zach Lane and some other friends of his. And I'm going to tell you right now, in regards to the trip, I am terrible at packing in regards to camping.
I believe that.
I mean, you saw what I packed with.
I seen it.
with when we went up to that one place, Black Mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, that one place.
That's the place.
I packed very not well. I came in shorts, a t-shirt,
dude,
and possibly a light sweater, and it was
chilly.
It was probably
low 30s.
It was well on the trip with you, but when I went to Holcomb.
Oh. Yeah,
when I went to Holcomb, it was shorts, a t-shirt, probably a light jacket.
Probably still chilly.
Very, very chilly, probably 40s at night. And
spicy.
Oh, I was freezing my ass off.
Yeah.
And then I woke up very mildly uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's aside from the point, though.
Right.
So we did our climbing, and I am not bad at climbing. I'm fairly good.
I think you're good.
So Zach Lane put me on some climbs. First one was a 5.8, which I was kind of stressed about because I'm not a fan of heights. But something about being on a rope just kind of, it inspired me.
Yeah.
Because it inspires me to climb higher. Maybe not high balls, but
Sure.
yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, you could do a lot harder." I go, "Oh, can I though? How hard can I climb outdoors?" And he goes, "Oh, let's try this 511. 511B or C. I don't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. That was my first climb above 510." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this." And I got on. That was so scary.
Yeah.
But he just kept pushing me. He's like, "Oh yeah, like keep doing it. Like go up." And I was honestly just too scared to fall.
Yeah.
So I kept going.
That is sport climbing.
Right.
It was I was so scared to
running away from the ground
to take a whipper. I was like, nope, keep going, going up.
Absolutely.
And I know I said it before that Stoke helps me climb harder. Honestly, it doesn't. Now that I've put all this thought into it,
yeah,
and hearing you guys talk, it doesn't help me because I've always been very antisocial. I didn't really talk to a lot of people. I still don't in the gym, honestly. And
I'm so sorry. I keep
no, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. We can do this instead.
Yeah. We could just caress each other.
We can just hold each other's knees.
Yeah. I mean, that was more of my quad.
I mean, that's not what we're doing. If you're listening to this,
no.
I mean,
miss me with that.
No. Even now, like I go to the gym on the days they reset. Mm-hmm. They're honestly just climbs to me now, and I don't feel any stoke when people give me encouragement. It's just more of my own personal motivation. Mm-hmm. And I honestly feel better just climbing by myself. Like when I go to even other gyms, I don't really meet anyone there. I just go in.
Yeah.
And I feel like I send a lot harder without people trying to encourage me, which is weird.
I can understand that. And I'm glad you said that, because that other perspective is very important here, because you are not the only person that feels that way. There's going to be several people listening to this that you just said that and they took a deep breath out and they're like, "Oh, thank God. Like, it's not all just these freaking Gumbies and their stoke. Someone understands."
All the bros.
Yeah, dude, these freaking boulder bros, dude.
Did you see what just happened?
What just happened?
With my hand?
What did you do?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to watch it back.
I may have...
Comment below what happened.
Can we pull it up really quick and rewind that?
Yo, can I get an instant replay? Phil.
I got a little... I just got a little excited. My hand kind of just got really close to him. I don't even think he noticed.
Understandable. The cat's whipping you again with her tail.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't mind, I would like to definitely build off of that. And that was actually something as you were talking, it like definitely triggered. I was like, that's something I really need to talk about. And that's definitely reading the situation on throwing out your stoke on who's around you, because there's a lot of people that as soon as you start yelling at them, they shut down. And like primarily a lot of females do not like when you yell at them, and it's like a lot of guys don't recognize that, and it's like
can be a little aggressive,
100% aggressive. And like one person's like with my girlfriend, like she likes to do her own thing. That's 100%. It's her working that problem, and a lot of guys don't get that, and just random dudes come up and start yelling, like, "Oh no, do that," and it's like beta spraying. But not only that, just like screaming at her like, come on, and it's like I can instantly see just shut down. Like, no, like leave me alone. Like I'm doing my thing. That's 100%. And I just want to say, like, stoke is 100% like subjective. Like, don't take like what works for me of like, and that's also, it comes down to like my upbringing. Like I was in sports, primarily like water polo. Like I was yelled at. I was honestly, I was beaten. Like I was backslapped when you did something right. Like, come here, and they'd like kick you in the water, and it's like. So it's like 100% of like what works for you. And it's like, even for me as well, like sometimes the yelling, I shut down as well. Yep. And so it's definitely, I know who you're letting all this stoke out. Like 100%, like hearing the like words of encouragement. Like, I don't know if that works for you. It's like, you're doing something like, "Oh yeah, did you, like, you got it." Like a quick little fist bump. Like, is that too much? Or is that like Or even that even like
honest-
phase you whatsoever?
It doesn't really phase me. It's honestly just
Okay.
there.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no
understand that.
emotion.
Definitely.
You are a robot, but a really sexy one, you know? Anyways. Heavy breathing. I appreciate the dichotomy of what we're talking about here, and I'm glad you shared that because for me, I'm a mood swingy person, and I think a lot of people are actually surprised to learn that about me. Mostly because I've toned down my mood swings pretty significantly from my younger days because it was exhausting just being way up here one day and way down here other days. And I've through years and years of intense focus and practice and inflection, I've learned to kind of stabilize my moods a little bit. But I do still definitely have days where you start yelling at me on the wall and I want to get off the wall and walk over and just kick you in the face. And again, that person is coming from a good place. They're coming from a place of encouragement and they're stoked, but you know, maybe I'm not stoked then. So maybe tone it down a little bit, you know? Okay, princess, do you have to put on such a big show? No, I don't really feel like that. But really, you do see that when someone is on the wall doing their thing, someone draws attention to them and all of a sudden they're spotlighted. You know what I mean? They're deer in the headlights on the wall and they're like, I don't want you watching me climb. So when you start being like, oh, you got, you know, then they're conscious of you watching them climb. And you're right, Matt. It is really important to be careful about that because sometimes the best way to support someone's climbing is to leave them alone. Let them have the personal battle with the wall. And to be honest, if they look to see if you're looking, freaking look away, dude. Don't let them know that you're looking at them. Some people really are just there to climb, and some people don't want to perform under that kind of pressure. Not that they can't, but that they don't want to. They don't want to be the center of attention. They don't want to be screaming and, you know, and sodding every move. And if someone's doing that, you know, it's probably safe to assume that you could yell back at them and they'll probably be cool with it, right? But if you notice that someone is quiet around the gym or quiet on the wall or in general tries not to draw too much attention to themselves, don't draw attention to that person because you may make them feel uncomfortable.
100%. I'd say that an easy indicator, which it seems like a lot of people, I'm not going to like probably specify that a lot of men don't realize, if someone has in their headphones and they're climbing, they probably don't want you to want your stoke.
Spend a lot of time going like this.
Huh? Yeah.
What? Sorry, what? What? What'd you say?
Yeah. If they have headphones in, they probably have the headphones in for a reason. It's like, try not to talk to them. Unless they take it out to specifically talk to you,
right?
Then reciprocate. But at the same time, don't. This is like, I mean, that's general etiquette for people.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I put in my headphones, I'm not going to lie. While I'm like climbing at the gym, like, I mean, I work at Rancho, and I primarily climb there. When I throw in my headphones, it says I don't want to communicate with other people. I don't want to socialize. I'm trying to get in there, climb, get it over with. So sometimes, not going to lie, I'm not even playing music in my headphones. They're just in so people don't talk to me. And that does not work sometimes. So.
That's a good... Owen, you've brought this full circle.
Hey, shut up.
Whoa now.
Not on my show, okay?
I thought it was his show.
You feeling big and strong right now? You feel like a man when you push me around?
No.
You
Sorry,
feel
Dad.
better now?
When you guys fight.
Look what you did. He's not even crying. There's just tears coming out of his face.
He's just sweating from his eyes.
True.
This is true.
He doesn't cry. He's too big and strong.
Sweaty boy. No way. Sad boys for life, dude.
Sad boys for life.
Let it out. So
Yeah.
now we're going to talk about toxic masculinity. You need to cry.
You should just cry more.
Damn, crying feels great.
What are you gonna cry?
Yeah.
What are you gonna cry?
All right. This is
Sorry.
a little weird.
But yeah, that's a really good point. And I'm glad that we came full circle to this because there is toxic stoke. It exists.
Yes.
It is possible to assert your stoke where it doesn't belong. Don't put it there.
Yeah, same as beta sprayers.
Dude, it really is the same. But it's important to recognize the difference between encouragement and overstepping your boundaries. Everyone's boundaries are different, you know? And while I do say that everyone is entitled to stoke, some people are, like Owen, at the gym to climb. They're there to climb. It's their business. It's what they're doing. It's very personal. Climbing is an extremely personal sport. I mean, Alex Honnold, for a long time, was doing these big ticket free solos, you know, in big climbing spots of the world, but he would not tell anyone. He would just go and do it. And that was the way he wanted it. He didn't want anyone there. He didn't want Stoke. The last thing he wanted is some guy on the ground be like, come on, dude. Oh, you got this. Dude, there's a foot, like, right? Do you... He'd probably jump off the wall just out of sheer distaste. And so that, and when I say you're not alone, I mean, one of the greatest climbers in the world is a lot like that, you know, and would prefer to be left alone on the wall if he can choose. So definitely, if you are out there, do not feel like you are being, I don't know, I think antisocial, that phrase carries kind of a negative connotation with it. Don't feel like you're being that way. That's you. That's the way you are, you know, and it's okay to be that way sometimes. I guess it is okay to acknowledge that you're antisocial because it's good self-awareness, but don't feel like you are there draining the vibe or anything like that. You're not a negative force. And especially if you are there and you're big Stoke, you know, and you're yelling and having a good time with your boys and there's someone over in the corner doing their thing, don't feel like that person is in any way doing you like a disservice by not being stoked. You know, that is where toxic Stoke comes into play, is where you feel like everyone in the gym needs to be at your same level. You know, and that's where I have an issue with people who assert themselves to that degree in a climbing gym or a climbing space. People who play their music super loud, or people who scream super loud. Or I get it, you're having a good time, you're stoked, you're motivated, this is what works for you, but like, can you not? Have you considered not doing that? Be considerate of others. And this is really like pretty basic stuff, but we're looking at it from a new angle, and that is stoked. You know, sometimes different people need different things to be motivated to get up the wall.
100%.
If you see Owen at the gym and he's trying really hard, yell and scream as loud as you can.
Yeah, everyone chant his name. He loves the name chanting.
If you start a chant, this guy.
Oh, and most importantly, make sure you're recording him and taking his picture at the same time. Please do so.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
But
do it.
If you get a picture of me, I will burn your phone.
Try him. I would like to see what happens. Actually, I'm curious. I have many pictures of you on my phone.
Yeah, you're an exception.
That's right.
You're too cute.
That's right, baby. This is a good freaking chat, guys.
Indeed.
You know, I love you guys.
Love you.
Wait, come back.
I'm so
come
stoked
back.
right
Wait,
now.
come back.
I'm not going
so
anywhere, dude.
Freaking stoked. We already climbed those, so I'm kind of tired.
Oh
so
my
like,
goodness.
I'll be stoked tomorrow.
I can go for another session.
I cannot. I don't know how you can do that.
I'm low-key down.
Dude,
I am too.
you guys should go do it.
We're dragging you with us.
So, fuck, dude, I just want to drink.
Hey, neither of us. Oh wait, I can't get it for free.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I ran 11 miles this morning. You have no excuse. So
I didn't run 11 miles this morning.
I've been awake since 3:30.
Oh, no mames. Get your claws out of my leg. You're so cute. Oh, my God.
She's something else, dude.
Go for it. Go.
Claw him.
It's worth it.
Yes.
The stoke is high for this cuteness of this cat. I just can't. Oh, my God.
Dude, I see her.
It's see her little paws.
She's
God, your cute little paws.
There we go. You're freed. Right.
Get over there.
That's it, dude. That's all I got. Either of you guys have any closing thoughts? Want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, his socks.
Oh, yeah. It is Christmas.
Show the freaking socks, dude.
Yeah, can we?
I'm going to, live on the show right now, for the very first time, I'm going to take a video. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here live on Vertical Thoughts. We are recording right now. Matt has these socks. Look at this guy's freaking Christmas socks. They're amazing.
That's what we're talking about.
There's Owen.
Tis
There's
the
Kat.
season.
Watch this episode of Vertical Thoughts sometime next month.
Tis the season to be stoked. But I think it's the overall, like, stoked 100% needs to be something that's from with you. And it also needs to be something that's really healthy, and, like, setting goals is really important. Just in general, like, setting for life, just setting goals. And also, biggest thing, too, is, like, I've huge, like, I do this myself all the time, and it's setting a goal and then not feeling like you're progressing.
Yeah.
And 100%, you gotta remember, like, you're setting a goal, but it's the most important thing is just the journey along the way. And just keep that stoke there and whatever it is, and just be consistent and consistently work at it. Don't compare yourself with others. Someone else might be climbing, progressing a lot faster. Like, I'm not, like, shout out to Kobe, and I've never met him.
Freaking love that kid.
God, freaking putting down my project.
That's my
third
boy.
go on Thin Lizzy. I worked it 45 times. I've been training hard for it, and this guy comes out here, third try, does it. But I mean, at the same time, that's a different person. That's his own thing. He's a really strong boy.
Dude, nothing gets me stoked like watching him climb. I will say that.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Shout out to him. We'll be climb soon.
Yeah.
But
I can see him blushing right now.
Okay.
As he's listening to this.
But yeah, so it's definitely just like whatever motivates you, go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever, don't listen to others. Like if you need to do something on your own, do it on your own. That's probably the greatest times, is doing stuff that makes me happy by myself, and like you'll draw others. And definitely shout out to Owen for bringing it up. And just with Stoke, make sure you're always aware. Just like read people's body language. You can always really tell if like you're like telling someone you're like trying to stoke them up, and it's like you can see like their energy's rising, they're getting like yeah, and they're communicating with you. Go for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you start stoking up someone, you can see them kind of looking away from you, their body, their shoulders rolled down.
Yeah.
They're like putting in their headphones. That's probably a time to stop and definitely try to read the situation. Except for when it comes to Owen.
Yeah.
I will always yell at him.
It is important.
Okay.
And props to you, by the way. That self-awareness is really important. Being able to know what motivates you and what your own driving forces are, because it's different for everybody. And I find that sometimes people have a difficult time coming face to face with themselves and identifying things like that about themselves. It's not a weakness. It's just a thing. You know, everyone has things about themselves. So it is really important to know what motivates you. So find it, freaking chase after it, and send hard.
Always.
Yeah. The last video I took deleted. So say hi for the camera.
Hello.
Owen, looking thick. Matt. Christmas socks. Dummy thick, dude.
Dummy thick.
We're recording this episode of Vertical Thoughts. Everyone say hi in the camera and also to the camera and from the camera. And if you're listening to this, watch Vertical Thoughts or listen to Vertical Thoughts. That's it. Love you. Bye.
I have a few more questions for you.
Freaking shoot them at me, dude.
Does pineapple go on pizza?
No.
I personally, myself, no.
I redact my response.
I do not like pineapple on pizza. That's all I will say. Who am I to tell the people what to put on their pizza? You know? How dare these people go on the internet and try to tell other people what to put on their pizza? What kind of... This is America.
That's what I'm talking about.
Put whatever you want on your pizza, B. If that shit makes you happy, eat pineapple on pizza.
And that's what I was looking for right there. Do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But most importantly...
Don't put pineapple.
Yeah, do not. If you do it in front of me, roundhouse kick to the face.
I personally, I like to break up food groups like that, and sweet fruits to me do not belong on cheese and marinara sauce, and they don't play well to me. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But that's my taste. I don't like strawberries in salads, like things like that. I just don't like mixing those flavors.
Interesting.
Because I'm a weenie, dude. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, you'll grow up eventually and come around, but
I want to be a boy forever, though. Peter Pan.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I am Peter Pan. Don't tell me that I'm not.
Are you kidding me? The way that you move up that wall,
dude.
Tell me there's a magic in those shoes.
Does Peter Pan belong on pizza? You don't have to answer that. Any other questions for me?
What is your favorite hold?
They're all jugs, dude.
That's
all of them.
God. This is why I'm here.
This is my show. You know who you're asking questions.
That's so good. That doesn't mean I was looking for that, because everything's a jug if you're strong enough.
They're all jugs.
If not, get stronger.
Don't need a favorite hold. They're all easy.
This is true.
Yeah. Anything else?
Owen?
No.
You guys trying to tango with the master?
I'm good.
I would like to dive into that fried rice, though.
We're about to go dive into some fried rice super hard. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Matt, Owen.
Thank you for having me on here. Really appreciate it.
This is freaking cool. Season 2. It's going well so far, I assume. I'm recording this before it started, so it's probably going super well.
Hello, people of the future in 2020.
Are people still the same with their funny ways?
I'll see you next decade, I guess.
I'm not amused.
Of course.
With Owen's lack of
He's
amusement,
never. I'm over this.
all right. Let him go, Owen.
How could you, Owen?
We don't need him.
Matt, wait!
What's up?
I need an adult.
How you doing?